Hey, good evening, guys. It's Peter here at Conic Day Trading. Um, Sincere apologies for this. This is actually the third time that I'm doing this webinar. The last one I did last night, for some reason, the audio wasn't working or didn't get picked up. So I spent a good 40 minutes talking to myself. And it was actually a pretty good webinar. I put on pretty good webinars sometimes. So anyway, hopefully tonight will be just as thorough and as helpful as the one you did not get to listen to last night. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with some basic chart reviews. Then I will talk about some interaction in the room. And I did have a couple questions as far as what I look for in my entries, if I can, write down a list of what I actually do before I enter a stock, and what I look for when I'm in a stock, and what I look for to get out of a stock. So I'll cover some of that as well. And then we'll end the webinar talking about pretty much the trading demons that we all have. We're all here in this room getting better. We wouldn't be in this room if we were consistent, green every day, making the money that we know we deserve to be making, putting in the time, putting in the effort. There's got to be some kind of self-destructive behaviors going on with some of the traders. So that's where kind of the trading psychology comes into play. 80% of trading is mental, okay? The rest is just execution. Finding the calls for me with as much screen time as I've had, it's really easy for me to find the calls, because with the training I have, being at the prop firms I've been with, I know what the professional traders are looking for. Okay, so when I call out a trade, there's a pretty good chance that it's going to work out, because there are thousands of other traders looking for the same exact setups. Said this many times, trading is easy. Finding the setups that work is easy. It's the execution, and it's managing your emotions while you're in the trade. For the ones that have the inverse risk-reward ratio, you guys got to stop that immediately. You have to. You have to put your hard stops in the market. For the ones that consistently are blowing up your account, there's a reason why you're blowing up your account. Okay, and this is where the trading psychology, which I'll probably cover in my next webinar for ones that are interested, comes into play. Because sometimes there'll be other factors, other outside factors that affect your trading, that affect the amount of money that you think you're worthy of making, that you think you're worthy of having, that have nothing to do with trading. And you'll get in a self-destructive mode, and subconsciously you'll make bad decisions and blow up your account. And this happens more often than not. So, the few of you that are in here that have that behavior where you'll be okay, then all of a sudden you start blowing up your account. Once you start, making money, there's something else going on besides your trading. So, and that's very typical within our industry. The mental game is a whole nother thing that we need to master. And it's an ongoing process. Just like trading is constantly evolving, we constantly have to tweak what we do just to keep up with the markets. The emotional part of trading is never ending. We will never master ourselves. It's a never ending journey. But you have to realize that if you are one of those people that have problems managing your account, putting in your stops, there's something else going on, guys. It's self-destructive behavior. So enough being said on that. I just wanted to touch on that briefly, because a lot of the traders that I've worked with over the past, they're great traders, but unless you address the self-destructive behavior or the ideas or the beliefs that you're not worthy of making a couple $1,000s a day in a couple hours, you're never going to get past that point. So I do have some study materials, some recommendations. If you want them, please reach out to me. I will email them to you. But I think a lot of the problems for a couple of the traders have to do with that. So please reach out to me. I've been through trading psychology courses. Dr. Andrew Menaker, they call him the prop doc. He is the trading psychology god. All he does is work with hedge funds managers and prop firms. He has a course out there. I do not recommend taking his course. I actually took his course a couple years back. It was just very expensive. It's better going to YouTube and just doing a search for Dr. Andrew Menaker, Menakar, I believe. And there's a bunch of clips out there, and you will get pretty much what you need out of those clips, and start addressing really the deep-seated demons that cause you to keep on blowing up your account. Because at this point, with the group that we have, I know a lot of you, this is your last chance to either make it or break it as a trader. So for me, that's great because I know you're in the right place. What's bad for me is I can't help you unless I know what you're trading or what you're in. I don't want to know after the fact. I would much rather know, hey, Pete, even PM me. Pete, I'm taking Home Depot long, at 36. What do you think? I think for the traders that aren't there yet, and we have some fantastic traders in the room that can go off and trade wherever they want because they're great and they're just looking for plays and setups. And luckily, I can add that to their to their trading setups. I can give them additional calls. They don't really need a full-fledged mentor. Some of you do, but I can't help you unless you allow me to help you. I need to know what you're in. That's why I do my little list every morning of the stocks. For the ones that want to be consistent and be green every day, there's no reason why you should be trading more than 100 shares right now, unless you're consistent. Otherwise, you're just throwing money out the window. And I'm being brutally honest. That's what you're paying me for. I'm here to mentor you and make you a professional trader so you can make a great living, hopefully pass it on to your children one day if they have the passion for it. We are actually extremely privileged, in my mind, extremely privileged to be doing this for a living. Something I love to do. I have a passion for it. If I have a bad day, if I lose $1,200-$1,500, I know I'll make it back in a day. It's not a big deal. You need to control your losses. Okay, so until you get your losses under control, stick to 100 shares, and by no means, please do not be trading any of the stocks that aren't on my list. You shouldn't be deviating from the list of stocks that I put up every morning. Number one, just because you haven't proven that you can be consistent. So, and number two, the stocks that I put up are stocks that I know. I looked at the charts. I know that they're going to be in play. I kind of know how they're going to react at certain times in the market. Okay, those are the stocks that you should be playing along with me. Okay, so for instance, we had SEMP today, CEMP, and I'll get into the charts in a minute. When I say, hey, guys, SEMP's looking heavy at 36, watch for a 36 break. That means if it goes below 36, you go in short. Okay, you should be playing the stocks that I'm playing, especially the traders that want to be consistent. The traders that are already there and are just here to get better, this doesn't apply to you. This applies to the traders that are struggling. Trade the stocks that I trade. I put the stocks up there for a reason. I put them up there because they are slow movers, yet can yield points and are normally trending stocks. And the stocks today that we played generated points after points after points. They were stress-free. They were easy to read. And there's no reason why we should be playing the VLTCs and, all the stocks that the professional market makers are on. Because all they're going to do is take your money. So follow my methods. Follow my calls. Focus on what I do. Focus on the patterns. There's 3 or 4 basic patterns that I always go to. And in this game, that's all you need. You need patterns. We were lucky enough to have, Tim Parker in our room today. Hopefully, we'll see a lot more of them in the future. I have some great plans for this room. Still want to keep it small and quality, but it's going to be a fantastic bunch of group of people with highly talented traders in this room. So I'm really excited about going forward. But Tim asked me, he's like, okay, on your Monsanto, because I actually asked him first because the thing kept on dropping and dropping and dropping. He's like, what would I look for to get into a new short on Monsanto? And for those that were in the room today, I explained to them exactly what I would look for to get in short. And I waited for that setup. I walked you guys through it. I took the trade short, and it worked out extremely well. And that's one of the trades I will go over with you during this chart review. So that being said, the ones that are struggling, keep it to 100 shares. Please put your stops in the market. Okay, there's no doubt about it. Keep your stops in the market. One bad trade cannot take you out of this game. I had one trader reach out to me that broke his rules. And unfortunately, it's going to take him a month or two to get back on his feet. There's no reason that should be happening in this room. None. I'm here to help you, but you have to let me know what you're in. And I know the whole audio thing is new. I still am a big believer in it. I'm not going away from it. I think once you get more comfortable with each other and a little more confident in speaking up about your trades, that you're going to think that it's the best thing ever, because I am right here to answer your questions live. I don't BS you. I'm as transparent as possible. I tell you what I'm in. I tell you where my stops are. I tell you when I get out of a trade. Take advantage of my knowledge while you're here. I mean, you're paying me to help you, so allow me to help you. And I don't think there's a person out there that is as transparent and is as genuinely sincere that really wants to help you guys be successful at this. Because if I had someone like me when I was in my 20s trying to help me be a trader and teach me the right way, I would have saved a heck of a lot of money. And that's what I'm trying to do for you guys. So that being said, I'm here. If you need to do chart reviews, email me, call me. We'll set up a time. We'll go over your charts, and I'll break them down with you. Simple as that. So let's start with a couple charts. This is post. These are from probably like the last week to 10 days or so. One thing you'll notice are the setups are pretty much always going to be the same. And that's the beauty of what I do. It's simple if you know what to look for. So when I keep on saying, guys, look at these patterns, burn these patterns into your memory so they become second nature. You will see the patterns develop before they actually happen. And that's when you know that you're starting to get it. I have one trader in the room making tremendous progress, just starting to spot the patterns. And when you see the patterns happening, it's just like an awakening. It's like, oh my God, I'm starting to get it. And it makes it so much easier. It puts everything together. So on this post 2-minute chart, okay, this right here, this white line is the VWAP. You guys know that by now. White is my VWAP. The red's at 200. So it's been holding VWAP pretty much from open, pretty much till about 2:30, 3:30. Okay, but what do you notice right here with this VWAP bouncing off of VWAP, holding VWAP? Here, you're starting to see some lower highs. I'm sorry, you're starting to see some higher lows. Okay, here there's no space. It's touching VWAP. Here, you're starting to see some space between the VWAP. Okay, and on top of them making higher lows, you got a nice little volume spike right there. Picture perfect setup, guys. On top of it, to make it even more confirmation for me, you got the moving average cross. So you got to bounce off the VWAP, which will be your risk. Because if you take this long, your risk is below VWAP. What's that, 15-cent risk, 20-cent risk? Okay, you had the moving average cross. You got the volume spike. You take it long right here on this breakout. This is exactly where you take it long. It comes up. No reason to panic. You may look over here and say, okay, it might be a double top. Okay, but let's see what happens. It comes down. It tests the 9-period moving average. Okay, it holds. It broke it, but the top of the candle held the 9-period. Came down, held it again with this elephant bar, solid green bar. Opened at its low, closed at its high, and this thing just took off. Beautiful, beautiful trade. And your risk was minimal. This is the trades that we look for. These are the trades that we look for. So here, you got VWAP holding as your support, which once you enter the stock, a breach below the VWAP would have been your stop if it happened. Didn't happen. Higher lows, you can see the space. Volume pickup, moving average cross, elephant bar. You're in this thing full size, long. Perfect, perfect chart. You say, okay, Pete, when would you have gotten out? You get out when it breaks the 9-period moving average and it closes below the 9-period moving average for this stock because it was based on the 9-period moving average for my entry. If I based my entry on the 20-period moving average, that would be my stop. Okay? So that was a beauty of a play for post. Monsanto, this one actually was from today. This is a 2-minute chart. This was just a beautiful, beautiful chart. For those that like the triangle or the pennants or the descending triangles, whatever you want to call them, you can draw a line of support from here over to here. Okay, you have that support line. You have the descending line up top coming here. Okay, so there's your triangle. And on top of that, right here, you have the moving average cross. In addition to that, it broke VWAP. Okay, and on top of that, you have a nice little volume spike. So it broke support, moving average cross, volume spike, red bar. You're in full size short at this moment. Okay, ride it all the way down. Came up, tested the 9-period moving average, did not breach it. You could have added right here if you wanted to. Came down, and you got more fade. And not one time did it come close to closing above the 9-period moving average. So once you got in short here, there was never a reason on this chart up at 11 o'clock when I took this picture did it give me a reason to get out of this trade. Just a beautiful trade. Triangle breakdown right there. There's your triangle. Even if you don't even look at the top of the triangle, look at this line of support. As soon as it broke that line of support, it broke VWAP, the 9 and the 20 moving average crossed, volume pickup. You go in short. What's your risk? Your risk is right above VWAP. Would have been a 30-cent risk. So you get short at 110.50, and here you're at 107.81, and the thing flushed even further. I mean, this was a sick trade today. Beautiful trending trade, very, very low risk, which you'll find in this room. I don't give you 1 or 2 point stops. If you need 1 or 2 point stops when you're in a trade, you are in the wrong stock or you're in the wrong room or you're doing something right. Something wrong. I give my stocks on my 1 minute chart. If I enter my stocks on a 1 minute chart, I give it 3 candles. If it does not go in my favor within those 3 candles, I am wrong and I take off my trade. Okay? I'll take the loss. So I'd much rather take the loss and then go right back in than just wait it out. I try to be as precise as I can on my entries So if it doesn't go in my favor within the first 1 minute candles, I take myself out of the trade. And it might be 30 seconds later, I'm right back in it. But for me, I did the right thing because I'm protecting my capital. If you don't have the capital, you can't play this game. Okay? And people say it's a zero-sum game, which it's really not. But everyone is out there to take your money. So you have to trade smart. And it's my job to give you the smart trades and to give you the smart stocks to trade. I told you today what my demons are, and my demons are the parabolic fades. I always get caught up playing them. And I know that that's something that I am staying away from. Everyone has trading demons. You need to realize what yours are. And if you don't know what they are, call me. We'll spend a half hour on the phone. We'll figure out what's actually preventing you from being a consistent trader. Because I'm telling you, 8 times out of 10, it's not your trading. It's something emotional. It's something to deal with your psychological makeup, your sense of self-worth. There's something else getting involved than your trading. Okay? So some people may say that, that's, BS or whatever. I'm telling you, that's the truth. So psychology of trading is a big business because there's a huge need for it. Okay, so that's something that we probably will address very, very soon. So let's pull up another Monsanto chart, see what we got going on here. This was just another picture of the 5-minute chart with that triangle breakdown right here. No need to cover that again. I covered it on the 2-minute. Let's go to this one. This is a YY setup. This is from a couple days ago. Again, just simple pattern recognition. Okay, that's all we do is look for the same patterns. Here, at the open, had a little nice spike up, came down, tested a 9 and a 20. It held a 9. You could have got long here on the opening bar, opening range breakout bar, right here, elephant bar. Okay, could have took this long if you're looking to go long. Ride it up here to the top, 61. I think it's 61.50. Sorry, 81.50. I have all my monitors elevated because I stand most of the day when I'm trading. So sometimes when I'm sitting, I have to get up to look at my charts. But everything else I have is elevated because I trade when I'm standing up. So right here, you can say, okay, 61.50 is the top. Next candle was red. Probably would have been a sign to get out. Double top of, 91.50. Double top. So you get out. Okay. So now your bias is going to be shifting to be short. Okay. If you're a super aggressive trader, which by nature I am, okay, but I've kind of been holding back because I don't want to be making these aggressive calls yet with a lot of you. I will PM some of you guys on these aggressive calls, but for the majority of the room, the aggressive calls I don't call out, or my aggressive scalps I don't call out. So you could have shorted this based on a double top using this 91.60, which would be a breach of the high day as your stop. Taking it short, okay, closed under the moving average. Okay, it came down, still short. Now it's testing VWAP. Okay, came down, broke VWAP, came back. Now it reclaimed the VWAP. Okay, but it didn't clear the 20-period moving average here. Okay, it did breach it. It closed right on it. But for this 20 cents, it would not have stopped me out. Okay, because if you are short from here or short from here, okay, and you're being an aggressive trader, you would use this as your stop. So if you're short, you're basing your stop off of this entry, okay, on this trade, okay? So this didn't even come close to breaching this. So you got a lower high, trend still intact, moving average starting to curl, came down, broke VWAP, flatlined, moving average cross with the 50 broke VWAP, 920 crossed, beautiful short. Even if you took this short from the 80 break, you're still down here at 78.67. That's a point and a half almost, just from this 80 break. And if you're super aggressive, you could got it up here at 81.50 and rode it all the way down because it never gave you a reason to get out. So again, beautiful setups. Keep in mind the moving average cross and the retest and rejects of VWAP with the moving average cross. That makes it that much more powerful. When the moves happen, they're going to happen big. This craft was a beautiful fade. I believe Evan called this one out. You can see all the grinding action here. A lot of grinding all day long. A lot of grinding. The longer the stocks grind, I mean, and if this was on a daily chart, okay, I love having daily charts that grind for a long period of time because when they get ready to break out, they just explode. So what this is just like a gun waiting to be fired, okay? So right here you have it grinding, holding the 50 period, okay? Little fake out here, okay? You got long if you took this breakout, say 87.50. Probably got about a quarter of it, but then what happened? You're kind of getting a little toppy up here, okay? So the market makers probably took this one up to get people trapped on the long side, and this is where you got to pay attention, guys. You're getting lower highs being put in, and you're getting red candles, and they're getting smaller and smaller and smaller. These 2 or 3 red candles right here are a signal that, okay, I either need to get out of my long position or get out of my long and convert to a short. Because the next candle, it broke the 9-period moving average. Okay? You see it starting to curl. Now you're riding the 50 right here. Okay? Candles again are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Look at the moving averages. They're starting to curl. Okay? As soon as this breaks, this 87.50 area with the moving average cross, you're balls to the wall. You're full in, full size short on this break. No doubt about it. Because what's your risk? Your risk is between VWAP and the 20. That's a 15-cent risk, guys. If that, maybe even 20 cents at the most. And look at this move. So there's no reason you can't hesitate. When you see these setups, you see the curls with the moving averages. You see the break of the 50 MA. You see it just drop the support. You got to go balls to the wall. You got to go full size. You got to go in and ride it out. And let the market tell you when to get out of the trade. Don't just get out of a trade because you're making money. That's not trading. Okay? Trading is letting the market tell you when to take your money. Okay? There are a lot of times where I actually take my P&L off of my screen because I get influenced by that sometimes. If I'm in a trade and I'm up a couple points with some pretty good size, I will take my P&L off my screen because it clouds my judgment. I don't focus on the chart. I focus on the zeros. And you can't do that. Okay? That's going to get you to the next level of trading. Once you're profitable and a trade is working, don't even look at your P&L. Just focus on the charts. Okay? Because that's when you're going to make the big scores, is when you stop worrying about your P&L. Especially when you're up nicely. Trail your stops. Put your stops in place. Whatever you got to do. Let the trade play out. This was a beautiful fade, guys. Perfect setup. As soon as it broke this right here, as soon as it broke this support, you know, there's no reason not to go in full size. You have to. These trades, this one trade would have made up for 5 poor trades if you manage those poor trades correctly. It only takes 1 or 2, 3 good trades a day to make $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a day. If you're trading the right stocks and you're letting the stocks pay you. Okay? We don't chase stocks. We wait for our setups. And when we get our setups, we snipe and we nail them. That's what we have to do. And all this is going to come with confidence. But you have to get the basic patterns down. And once you're in the trade, you cannot take yourself out of the trade until there's a reason to sell. Okay? This is the Humana. I played this a little bit today. Paid pretty nice. This thing moves in halves and in dollars, so you really got to be careful with these stocks. But just to give you an example, on the 15-minute, I pulled it up so it was nice and clear. You had this right here. You had this level of support. As soon as the support break, you went in short. Okay? You had the moving average cross. My stop would have been right above VWAP, which is right here. Probably a 50-cent stop. As soon as this level right here, as soon as this breaks, this level of support, you go in short. Simple as that. You ride it down about 184, and as soon as it broke the 9 right here, that's where you get out. Because that's what I used for my entry. I used the 9, crossing the VWAP with the support break, entered it short. As soon as it breaches that, I'm out. Okay? It's as simple as that. But this, again, is that triangle pattern that a lot of the traders in this room use. And that's why I have it here in the 5. If you look here on this 5-minute and you look here, you'll see your triangle. Okay? And then you got the volume, and then you got the breakdown. Came up, retest, breakdown. Came up, retest, breakdown. Right here, double bottom, okay, signal, get out. Okay, simple as that. It was a beautiful, painless trade. So JD, this is from, I believe, last week sometime. Just another example of setups. And that's what I'm focusing on tonight. It's just setups. Again, if you want to look at this as a triangle or a pennant, perfect. Okay, here's your triangle. There's your bottom leg. There's your top leg. All I see right here, I see a stock consolidating right on VWAP. I see a rising 50 MA. I see the 9 and 20 falling, starting to curl, which tells me that this stock's going to drop. And on top of that, you got lower highs being put in. You got to pay attention to that. Lower high. Lower high. Retest, failed, lower high. Breach, came back, tried to reclaim the 9 period and the 20. It failed. So if you're aggressive, you take the short right here. Okay? Really not much of a difference. Probably another 10 cents. But right here, this is money. Right here, this spot. You see the VWAP. You see the 9 period, the 20 period, the 50 MA. Everything crossed. And all this support broke. All in, guys. All in on this trade. Okay? It came down, tested the 200, bounced up to the 9. Perfect area to add. Right there. It never breached the 9. Ride it all the way down. Okay? This 9 period MA is your stop. Once it breaches it and closes above it, that's when you get out of the stock. But when you have these simple setups with the volume, the moving average crosses, the breakdowns of support right off of VWAP, you have to go in full size. Okay? And if you're up 50 cents, don't take the 50 cents. It's just let the trade play out. You have to let your winners run. And I know that's so much harder to do than most people think, but you have to let your stocks go when you're in a winning trade. You have to. You know, for some reason, it's easier for you guys to let your losers go and get out of control than to let your winners go, because that's the right thing to do. And that's where the trading psychology will come into play. But when you see simple setups like this, guys, don't even hesitate. Whatever your full size is, if it's 50 shares, 100 shares, 5,000 shares, whatever it is, when you see these setups, you got to go in full size. There's no reason not to. None. Because you know the move is going to happen. Okay? And that will come in time and with confidence and learning my style. It's all simple pattern recognition. And again, to reiterate, the 3 or 4 patterns that I've mastered that I do are the same patterns that prop traders do. So that just makes the move even more powerful, because if I'm shorting it, you're going to have a couple other thousand traders shorting the same stock. Okay, and if you think the professional traders are playing the stocks like GoPro or Twitter or Baba or whatever, you're wrong, because they're not. They're playing the stocks that I play. And I only know that because that's what I was taught. Okay? And I'm still in the game. So there's got to be some truth to that. Okay? WDC, I think this is from today or yesterday. Again, pattern recognition, guys. Here in the 5-minute, you got a little triangle forming. Okay? This dotted line is the previous day close. Very important to have this on your charts. You can see here it acted as resistance, even though it popped above it a little, a couple times by a dime or so, which is totally irrelevant. It still acted as resistance. Got the moving average cross, came down. There's VWAP, broke VWAP, came back to retest. It failed. So as soon as that happens, you're going short. 8840. You're going in short right there on this moving average cross, and the failure to reclaim VWAP. Comes down, test it again. You can either add or just let it go. Ride it down. Right here, you would have been stopped out, or I would have been stopped out. 87.50, 87.60. So that is about a point on this trade. And it's a simple pennant breakout with the moving averages as confirmation and the VWAP as your stop. The risk reward ratio of these patterns is just sick. You just have to let them work for you. You have to let it work for you. A couple more, and then we will talk about our next seminar, and I will go over my trade entries, what I look for. This Monsanto chart we already covered. We should have everything here. I think I did this one before, but we're going to cover it anyway. This is United Healthcare. On this play, unfortunately, I did miss the whole front side of this move. But you can see it consolidating right here. This is the previous day close. Riding the 9, riding the 20. Came down and broke, but it held the previous day close. Okay? Right around 2 o'clock, you got the 920 moving average cross. Bounced off of the previous close. Tested the high. There's your elephant bar, which means more powerful moves are coming, which is exactly what happened. But see, this is where it gets interesting for me. This is what I like. You see the 121 area. Keeps on getting stuffed. Keeps on getting rejected. It cannot cross that area. So this whole time is trying to get through 121, 121, 121. What's happening? You're getting lower highs getting put in. Lower highs getting put in. The 9 period starting to curl. The 20 period starting to curl. As soon as this breaks right here at 120.50, you're full in short on this 920 cross on the break of 120.50. What's your stop? Your stop is 121. Okay? Your stop could really be 120.75, but my stop would be 121, which was the high day that was never breached. So you got short 120.50. At the time I took the picture, it's at 119.16. So you're, about a point and a half. I think I covered right here at VWAP actually, 119. So point and a half. Painless. Never even came close to breaking the 9-period moving average, guys. Never gave you a reason to get out. And these are the trades that are going to pay you the big money. Okay? Even on 100 shares, I try to give you setups with minimal risk and points that you can be paid with. 100 shares, $150. This is 2-minute chart, about 20 minutes, guys. $150 on 100 shares, minimal risk. That's what we need to look for. So in chat, you'll hear me often say, I'm watching for a lower day break, or I'm watching, like today, Facebook. I think it was 88.90, kept on getting rejected. So I'm saying, guys, 88.90 is rejected. Can't get past 88.90 is getting rejected. I can't tell you how many times I scalped that today, from 88.90 down to VWAP, 88.90 down to VWAP. You have to look for these little moves, especially during the summer when there's not much else going on. So if I need to be more clear on my calls, I will try to do so. But when I say, okay, guys, UNH is getting stuffed at 121, that should tell you guys something that, okay, maybe I should look to short. Okay, and that's just going to come in time of learning to read my style and read how I call things out. In the morning during the open, I'm very clear with my trades because it is so volatile, but there's just so much going on during the rest of the trading day. SEMP, I don't think I have a chart of SEMP, which I wanted to. Hold on, let me see if I can find SEMP real quick. CEMP was a beautiful, beautiful chart today. And of course, I don't have a copy of it. Okay, so just for example with SEMP, okay, I called it 30, I believe a 36 break. I said, guys, look at SEMP. It's weak, 36.50 or 36 break. Take it short. I don't know if anyone caught that, but that paid points. It was a beautiful, beautiful fade. CEMP, look it up today. And look at that area. It was either 36 or 36.50. Beautiful, beautiful fade. And stocks, again, to reiterate, they are trending down or they're trending up. There's no chop. There's no wicks. There's simple moves that are easy to follow and aren't going to give you guys heart attacks over every tick. Okay? They are the stocks that the pros play. They are the stocks that I play. Yes, they do tend to be a little higher in price, but you know what? You can read them so much easier because they trend. Okay? They trend because they're not crowded. And that's what gives me the advantage that I want to teach to you guys. So going over my entries, let me grab some water real quick. Going over my entries on my center point charts. Let's see if I can pull one up. Okay, this is another beautiful trade. I'm going to go over this one just because I have to, just by looking at it. You see this whole line right here? This whole area right here is acting as support for this SNCR. Okay, whole time acting as support. So you got the moving average cross, tells me change of direction's coming, okay? On top of that, it's below the 50, below the 200. Tried to break out of the 20 and it failed. It got rejected. Came right here, touched the 20. You go in full short right there. Let me go over here so you can see. Right here. As soon as this breaks, you go in full short. Came up, retested, rejected. Got another 50 cents out of this move. Just a beautiful chart. And all you're doing is playing this support break. In addition with the moving averages, in addition with the VWAP, in addition with the volume. That's all you need to be worrying about, guys. Okay? That's all you need to be worrying about. So on my entries, long or short, it's the same checklist I go through. It may seem like a lot, but it may take me 15 to 20 seconds at the most. Up here, I have a weekly. Let me go over here. Weekly, daily, 60-minute, 30-minute, 15-minute, 5-minute, 2-minute, and then 1 minute. All of my charts are set up on my screen with the 1 minute and the 5 minute Or now in the summertime, I'm actually using the 2-minute because they're less noisy and less choppy, less wicky. I can read the candles better with a 2-minute. So I have a 2-minute and a 5-minute. But if I see a chart like SNCR that I'm looking, okay, I can see this thing starting to get heavy, I immediately go to the weekly chart, look for support and resistance, look for where the moving averages are. Okay, then I flip over to the daily. I do the same exact thing. Okay, where's the previous day's low? Where's there any congestion? Always look to the left side of the chart, see where there's any congestion. How far away are the moving averages? Where's going to be my first area if I'm short of support on this chart? Where am I looking to get out of? Then I go to the 60-minute, 30-minute, 15-minute, and make sure they're all clear of any major support or resistance. Okay, once that's all done, and that will probably take 10 seconds once you get in the habit of doing it, then I go to the 5 and the 2 right now, and I look for my entries. And the entry is right there. That is your entry. As soon as it rejects that 20 period and it's declining, you already got one rejection here, okay, and you got lower highs being put in. You're full in short right here, guys. There's no reason not to go in full in short. Write it down. If you wanted to take your profits because this kind of scares you out a little bit, I can understand that. But you can't let these moves shake you out because that's what the market makers are trying to do. They're trying to shake you out. As long as you're below the 9-period moving average and that's what you base your entry off of, you're still golden. You're still in a good position. So if you would have got shaken out here, you would have left 50 cents on the table. So trust these lines. They're very important. Again, stocks in play. I go to the weekly. I see where it's at. I look to make sure that the 9 and the 20 are not anywhere close. If I'm short, then make sure that the stock is not sitting on them. That's going to act as support. Same thing, I flip to the daily and then the 60 and I work my way down. That's all I do when I look for my entries. I make sure my entries are going to be clean. There's no immediate resistance or support that's going to stop the trade from working. Okay, and I work from the biggest time frame down to the smallest. And then come September, I'll switch back to a 1-minute because that's when the markets get busier. And then I will always base my entries off the 1-minute chart. Something else is very important that a trader brought to my attention that he wasn't doing. Your 1-minute or 2-minute chart always has to be in confirmation with your 5-minute chart. Okay, if your 5-minute chart is in a downtrend, there's no reason that you should be looking to go long on a 1-minute chart. Okay, for the professional traders that are in the room, this doesn't apply to you because you can play the bounce. Okay, but the majority of the traders here, I don't want doing that yet. Okay, you need to have the 1 and the 5 or the 2 and the 5-minute charts line up together. And when you have both of these charts giving you the same signal, it's going to be twice as powerful of a move that you're going to get. So it's very important that you get multiple time frame setups. Okay, the more multiple time frame setups you have, the more powerful the move is going to be. There is no reason why you need to be going against the trend on a 1-minute chart or a 2-minute chart when the 5-minute chart is telling you something else. You have to follow the trend. Okay? We are not scalping right now. We are playing the trend, looking for points, looking to make you consistent and become a professional trader. Okay? That's all you got to be worrying about right now. I don't want you to be making 20, 30 cents. Okay? We do have times where I scalp. We do have scalpers in the room, and that's great. Okay, that's another dimension of the trading tools that you get when you're ready. Right now, you need to be focused on making points. And the charts that I put up are the ones that will pay you points 7, 8 times out of 10. So please follow my trades. when I take my trades. When I say look at it as an area that's going to be of interest for me to short, that probably means that I'm going to be getting short at that area. So please feel free to speak up. Let's try and get everyone to be a little more vocal on the mics. That's what they're there for. I'm here to help you guys. There's no such thing as a stupid question ever, especially in trading. A lot of people come to trading from other professions where they've had huge success and think that they can just carry their success over to the trading. And there's nothing that could be further from the truth. The market doesn't care if you have 20 years experience or 5 minutes experience. Okay? It's still going to take your money if you don't know what you're doing. The market is a totally different animal, and everyone has to pay the market tuition. Just like going to college, or just like going to law school. It's my job to keep that commission as small as possible for you guys. So please follow my rules, look at my patterns, memorize my patterns, and only play these patterns for now until you become consistent. Because once you become consistent, then we can start changing the game a little bit, being a little bit more aggressive, adding different patterns to the game, adding different stocks. There's just nowhere to go but up once you get the basics under control. So I think for the first 2 weeks, things are going rather smooth, with the exception of the webinar end of it and the technology end of it. Still in the process of trying to get my website going. If anybody knows someone or anyone, period, in the room that knows how to do WordPress and can help me get a members only area, let me know. I'll work something out with you. This is the third time I'm doing this webinar, and I am praying to God that it comes out and you guys can hear me, because I spent, seriously, like, this is the third time, so it's almost 3 hours doing a webinar that you haven't even seen yet. So I'm hoping this one comes out. If not, I'll be doing another one tomorrow. So I appreciate every single one of you. I think we have a great circle of traders in this room. The sky is the limit. Everyone in this room, no bullshit, sorry, but no bullshit, was accepted for a reason. And yeah, I did turn a lot of people down. I don't want a big room. I want a room of quality traders that have a passion for trading. Okay? Once you learn how to trade, the passion is always going to be there. And you know what's going to happen? You're going to start making money. And with that passion and with you now knowing how to trade, you're going to start making more money. Okay? And the more people that we have in our circle, the stronger the circle is going to be, and the more money we're going to make as a team. Okay? So that's my goal for you. I do have some great plans for this room going forward. I think you should be excited. And hopefully this past 2 weeks, you guys have learned a lot. I'm sorry for the webinar faux pas. I'm going to test this one out before I send it out this time. But hopefully you get it in your email tonight and it'll work and everything will be smooth. And we will plan on probably doing one Sunday night if that works for everybody. But we'll talk about it in chat tomorrow. So I'd rather have live webinars than doing recorded ones. This one was supposed to be done on Father's Day, but I got tied up with my family. They had a nice surprise for me. And then I tried doing it for the past 2 nights and didn't have much success. So hopefully this one's done and we'll get it out there. And if you're enjoying the room, I would really appreciate some positive tweets. Got a lot of trolls out there bashing me, but that's okay. That just means that I'm doing some good things. And having Tim in our room today was pretty damn cool. Sorry, was pretty cool for me. He's one of the few guys I look up to in this industry. And having him in our room was pretty exciting. So, like I said, got big plans. Let's hope that they come to fruition. And I'm going balls to the wall, guy. I want you to come along with me. Just don't be afraid to speak up and ask the questions. Because the money that you're paying every month isn't going to be doing you any good if you're doing the same mistakes over and over and over again. And I can't stop you unless I know you're doing them. I would love to see your screens, but I don't have that capability. So you know what? You can see mine. I tell you what I'm trading. Just trade what I trade and take my trades until you get the confidence to say, you know what? These lines actually are magic. They actually work pretty well. And then your trading is just going to take off from there. That's all I'm going to say. So on that note, you guys have a great night. Thanks for being part of Iconic. If there's things that you want me to cover during the day, feel free and ask. Otherwise, we'll talk tomorrow about doing a live webinar sometime later on this week. So have a good night, guys. Thank you.